Alexi, so thank you so much for joining me. We've had a tiny little bit of a experimental situation. um, so thank you for, yeah, thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm delighted to be here as always, especially with you, Michelle. And I'm really excited about this lunar eclipse that is coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time. We've been looking forward to this for months, for us to kind of spend some time together and dive a little bit deeper. I was so happy when I found a fellow moon enthusiast, which I think you definitely are as well. We were kind of chatting. We haven't prepared like a whole thing, but I think what we are wanting to do with this is kind of open conversations and open minds and ideas around astrology not being a woo-hoo thing that is just for funny witchy ladies or something. I don't know.
Indeed, it can be in your everyday life and it's for everybody. I do agree.
Exactly. And for me, there's a very much I don't know what the right word is, but kind of a connection point. I love myth, I love astrology, I love the psyche. So it kind of brings all that alchemy and psychology, for the lack of a better word, the connection to the psyche, you know, from this bigger perspective to the smaller perspective, and through the duality. I was listening to someone interesting this morning talking about how we are most likely, according to what we know, the only planet in our solar system where we see the sun and our moon in the similar diameters. So they can actually fit over each other, from our perspective in the universe, which is quite cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It gets me
Yeah.
very excited. So yes, this is a supermoon as well, which means that the moon is like much closer to the Earth than normal. And this is the second supermoon out of a series of four we're going to have this year,
Hmm.
four in a row. And it's also a partial eclipse, which just makes the energy so much more potent. And yeah, it's can be a real turning point for people. So yeah, I do agree that it can affect everybody's lives. It affects our planet.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really special energy to be able to be aware of and, tap into if we want to.
Mm. And symbolically, it is an interesting thing how we see the sun and the moon,
Yeah.
as in a duality, kind of in opposites almost. Um, but it brings me back to that Jungian animus anima, feminine masculine, where the moon very much represents for me, and you must correct me if you can, um, to that inner world, that the heart, the soul, that feminine, intuitive,
Yes.
power, energy that
Yes,
we
totally.
hold.
Well, the
Yeah.
sun is seen as a masculine energy. It's like our vital force. It's what we need to be able to replenish our energy.
Yeah.
That's why it's really important to understand your sun sign so you can replenish your energy with that element.
Yeah.
And the moon is our internal world, and it's feminine energy, and it's such a beautiful energy to work with, especially. We are a mix of both energies. We are not just feminine or masculine. I believe that we are the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
constellation of our birth chart, not just one sign or anything like that. And the sun and the moon play this amazing dance that is balance and opposition,
Mm.
and that's what we can work with. When we start to understand that a little bit better, and that's why I'm here and why we're having this chat.
Yeah, exactly. It always comes back to that yin and yang kind of, you can't have the one without the other, and there's got to be a dance, as you say so beautifully. I really I really like that because it brings out the context of things. It's not just this one aspect, like a box. I hate this boxing element that we have become so used to, because there are no boxes, but it
It's
is
a
interesting.
blend, isn't it?
Yeah,
Blend
exactly.
and flow.
Exactly. So at the moment, the sun is in Virgo,
Yes.
um, and the moon. Tell us quickly. So there's a
Yeah.
difference. The sun and the moon move differently through the zodiac.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So the sun would move each month into a zodiac sign,
Yeah.
and that would stay in that sign for that month. And
Mhm.
right now it's in Virgo for that 28-day, 30-day period. And Virgo isn't, as we know, it's an earth sign. So it's really about getting in touch with nature. It's about, checking our how we're grounded, like how we're getting into a new season change as well. Like it's all to do with gut health, because Virgo is, which I love about Virgo, is it's all about the digestive system and what we process. And what's really interesting is Mercury, the planet Mercury, which is the ruler, was ruled by Virgo,
Mm.
is actually all about communication, but when it's in Gemini, which also rules Gemini, Gemini is always the outward expression. It's how we speak outwardly. But with Virgo, it's the inward, and it's the process, and how we process our thoughts, how we process our food, our emotions, and that all kind of links to the second brain, the gut, if you like. So Virgos should be really looking after their gut health, and any Virgo risings like me. Also, they may love to reorganize things. This is a perfect month for reorganizing the home, the workspace,
Yeah.
also reorganizing the closet if you wish, that sort of thing. And also touching on like perfection, trying to just Virgo season is all around these sort of topics and
Mm.
so on. But when it comes to the moon is slightly different, because the moon runs in a 28-day cycle as well, or a monthly cycle, but it changes sign every 2.5 days.
Yeah.
And what I love about working with the moon is you're never in the same sign or in the same um, phase twice within 1 year. So,
Okay.
start off in the new moon in Pisces. That was 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to be in the full moon in Pisces. And
Mm.
in 6 months' time, we will again be then at the end of the cycle. And it's going to just slowly go through, up all the waxing stages, first quarter, full moon, and then back down again. And that's how we can bring in sort of self-care with the moon cycle every couple of days. We
Mm.
can be aware, okay, the moon is in Pisces, which it is right now, which is shining like an illumination on things for us. It's really illuminating areas of the body.
Mm.
And Pisces is the ruler of our feet.
Mm.
It's also the ruler of our sleep, which
Mm.
is really important, the pineal gland,
Yeah.
and making sure that you get enough sunlight and so on. But
Mm.
it's also like rules the lymphatic system, which I find fascinating. And I can carry on if you wish.
Yes, yes.
So, is obviously linked to water
Yeah.
and the kind of water that belongs in the body. It's got a lot
Mm.
to do with letting go of our toxins as well. So doing an actual kind of detox or cleanse
Mm.
at this time could be a really great thing to do. Doing any kind of reflexology, or
Mm.
just getting those feet in a bath, or in a spa bath, or getting your toenails done or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That would be a really nice self-care thing for Pisceans to do.
Mm.
What I love about Pisces as well is it's all the subconscious mind. It's all the dreams and illusions that we have.
Yeah.
And that's very much linked to Neptune and so on. But yes, I hope
Yeah.
that answered your question in a very lengthy way.
Yes.
But yes, the sun and the moon make this beautiful balance.
Yeah.
And those are the two kind of areas that we could be looking in. You can do a full self-care over the month.
Mm.
Um, for Virgo and really concentrate on your gut health like that.
Yeah.
Or you could just follow the moon signs and do little bits and pieces here and there.
Okay. And I mean, it doesn't only affect Virgos or,
No,
people that have Pisces on their chart. We all are influenced by these aspects of the moon and the sun, because we are part of this system, isn't it?
completely.
Yeah, yeah,
Completely. I completely agree with that.
mm,
I do believe that we are all the signs.
yeah,
And if you look at your birth chart, you can see exactly, maybe your moon sign is one sign,
yeah,
rising and sun sign. Those are the ones that are most well known, but you will have other signs that will tell a lot about you and what planets are in there and how you react to things and how the planets affect you.
yeah.
And yeah, I do believe it's like a mini we're our own little constellations, which I
Yes, yeah.
like.
As we move through the world, and obviously, I really love myth, and I've gone and looked into it a little bit as to the myth behind Pisces, because Pisces is the two fish going in
Yes,
opposite directions, and they are tied together.
yes,
And
one over the water and one deep in the sea. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. Which is gorgeous. It's also that duality, that paradox, that kind of moving away but being tied together. And it is, I think, one of the furthest away, oldest constellations. There's a story about Aphrodite and her son Eros in the Greek mythology, or in Roman mythology, they are Venus and Cupid, and they were being chased by this big sea, or this monster, down Mount Olympus. And for them to get away, there are two versions. So the one version is they jumped in the ocean and turned into fish, to get away, and the other one is that um, fish guided them and moved them away from the monster and saved their lives. Which it's pretty cool.
amazing. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. It's a
And
great
funny
story.
enough, Aphrodite is also quite closely related, as a symbol of the anima, almost, and
Mm,
that um, feminine energy, wisdom, and kind of water relates back to wisdom quite often. So there's always these beautiful stories, and then with the Virgo, sun in Virgo, it's very much Gaia, that kind of cell is the goddess that's often related to September, or the beautiful story of Demeter and Persephone. And this is usually the time where Persephone is going back to the underworld, to Hades, and Demeter is not so happy because she's losing her daughter again um, to the underworld for 6 months until
mm.
we get to spring.
Oh, that's
But
fascinating. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that.
And it always kind of brings us back to this cyclical aspect, which I think you're also very connected to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yes. And what I love about this moon, this is the harvest moon, and this
Mm.
is, a time where farmers and, also everybody who's kind of planted seeds 6 months before, which is funny because it's that time when it was Pisces new moon 6 months
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And you look at what you've kind of achieved over the summer. This is a great time to reflect on that and actually, see how far you've come. And also, it's a time to celebrate. Full moons are really a time to feel really abundant and celebrate what has come around. And, eclipses, they can change things for us. They can give us insights into our lives very clearly and very precisely.
Yeah.
And it's very good to be aware, just more spiritually aware at this time, especially Pisces being so spiritual and Neptune being so spiritual. It's important for us to actually just reflect on
Mm.
what we have harvested
Yeah.
over the last 6 months and what is happening right now for us. Um, I have arranged a little bit of moonology for you all so you can know which area of your life is is being like highlighted by this full moon. I don't know if you want to bring that up, I can
I'm going to
go
try.
through that.
Yeah. um, let me see. I think I have it. There we go. So harvest super moon.
Yes.
And it's interesting that the harvest moon, being harvest time, is a super moon, and how bright it is. I always think of it as guiding the farmers, because I live in a farming area,
Mm,
to get their crops off the land as well.
exactly. It's exactly what used to happen, and probably still does. There's still farmers who live by the lunar cycle, that's for sure, and
Yeah,
fishermen too.
yeah,
But also, it's something, it's a time to celebrate, give gratitude, and to just be very, very aware of what this energy is trying to show us being. And it will be a very intuitive energy. So we
yeah.
can go through each of the signs, and this is the area of your life. If you're not clear on this, the way it works is your full moon and your new moon will always appear within a house, and that house area is an area of your life. And it'd be very interesting to see if this resonates for the audience, to know if this actually you feel that in the area of your life. So we have Pisces, which is in the first house, and the first house is everything to do with like our identity, it's our ego, it's also new beginnings, because it's when the astrological kind of wheel starts turning. And it's also to do with your outward expression, how you also are perceived by other people. So if you wanted to kind of update your image and change your image a little bit, this is a great time for that. And also, you maybe have been doing that over the last 6 months and have now kind of reached that manifestation of that. So then we're going to go into Aquarius, which is the second house. And the second house is all to do with your values and money. It's all got to do with your personal possessions and your self-worth. You may want to do some journaling or look into that area of your life, like, what are my values? How have they changed over the last 6 months? And also, how are my personal finances? What can I do to, be more abundant? And what have I done to be the abundance I have right now? Then we go into Capricorns, will be in the third house, and that's all to do with communication and knowing. It's also to do with siblings and short journeys. So maybe you're wanting to arrange a short trip away. Maybe you need to communicate something to somebody, and so on. So the next house would
Sorry.
be
I'm learning how to navigate this, so just give me a second. And then we're going to get up the
Right.
next one. There we go.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay.
So then we have Sagittarius, which is the fourth house, which is all around home and family. It's about connecting back to like your roots, checking in with your home life, your relationships, also with your parents, with mothers, especially that nurturing feeling, also reflecting on your own motherhood, and seeing how that has developed over the last 6 months. Also, Scorpio's the fifth house, which is a lovely house to work with. It's all to do with creativity. It's about having fun. What are your hobbies? Maybe you want to start a new hobby. It's about romance as well, children, connecting with your kids and just doing some fun activities together. So maybe there's something like a new hobby you've done over the last 6 months, or something, that you wish to do in the future. And these are all areas that you can look at and actually, decide where they can resonate with you. Now, where can I add this into my life? Libra is in the sixth house, one of my favorites, which is the house of health and daily routines. And this is also our work environment. It's how we maintain our health to actually do our self-care, and it's organizing. So is there anything that needs organizing? This is also the house of Virgo. So that really is a great one for this time, because that you could be working with this whole month as well, like my routine, your kind of daily self-care in the morning, and evening routines and so on, how you serve other people, that you're not exhausting yourself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that we often do so well.
Yeah. So really trying to get that organization right for you.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Virgo, which is in the 7th house, and that is the house of your partner, marriage, relationships, long-term partnerships, also with, friends and business partners. And how's that going? It's also linked to like justice and diplomacy and so on. So, how can those grow? Have they flourished over the last 6 months? Where are you at with those now? And then we have Leo, the 8th house, which is also a wonderful house to work with, transformation. This is all to do with your kind of deep emotional side. It's all to do with rebirth, death of, transformation, going into something new. What has transformed for you over the last 6 months? Maybe there's been some major things that have transformed in your life. It's also to do with taxes and debts and inheritance. And we move on to Cancer in the 9th house, which is higher learning, philosophy, long distance travel. So you may be wanting to plan, or maybe right now on a long distance travel trip, a life-changing trip, something that's going to be mentally stimulating for you. Maybe there's some more higher learning courses you want to take, or that you're currently on and finishing, that sort of thing. And then we have the last few signs.
I need to coordinate my hands and my head. They don't always work together so well. So we are almost
There
there.
is no rush, Michelle, at all.
There we go. Am I right?
So then we have Gemini, which is the 10th house, and this is the house of your career. And whatever kind of seeds you planted maybe 6 months ago, what is coming through for you now? Where are you aligning? It's all to do with your achievements, public image as well. How's that looking for you? And, journaling around that and seeing where your next goals are. Taurus in the 11th house, a house of friendship and community. It's also how you are seen online, and also your goals for the future, your aspirations, and just connecting with friends. Maybe you're needing more friendships, or maybe you've made some great friends in the last 6 months, and reaching out to them and showing them, oh, I love you, something like that could be really nice.
Yeah.
So lastly, we have Aries in the 12th house, which is the house which is ruled normally by Pisces. And the 12th house is the house of spirituality, secrets. It's also to do with our dreams and illusions, solitude and endings as well. So there's maybe a time for Aries that you actually want to turn a little bit inwards and look at what where you are spiritually. Maybe there's something that you'd like to discover more or do more practice in. And also things like hidden secrets can come out at this time as well, to end things. What can I end? What can I dissolve? What can I go through? And that's really what eclipses are all about. It's about kind of closure on things. It's about looking at stuff and saying, right, okay, I can work with these areas of my life, but an eclipse in Pisces, which is the house of endings, and Pisces is associated with endings. It's associated even with hospitals and prisons and so on. You may have a lot of Pisces which work in hospitals or prisons. It's also to do with fantasy and dreams and illusions. Like you may want to keep a dream journal next to your bed over the next few nights, because that is, subconsciously, Pisces and this eclipse energy will be helping us like reboot this kind of subconscious mind in a way. So our thought process at this time is really, really important. What we're telling ourselves and what we're hearing, going
Yeah.
into your theme of the month,
Yeah.
which I'd love to know a bit more about. But
Mm.
yes, that's really important, how we're speaking to ourselves and what we're taking in,
Oh yeah.
especially this time for our
Yeah.
subconscious, because our subconscious is listening right now. It's
Yeah.
intuitive.
Yeah. Saw a beautiful image the other day, and it kind of our theme in the Wisdom Seekers this month is being heard, and I always bring it back to silence. You know, it's like this beautiful
Mm,
kind of dance as well. To be heard, you kind of have to be silent with yourself to make sure that you're not just redistributing whatever it is you are absorbing. See my fly friend.
no worries. Yes, I
Yes,
hear you on that.
yeah, and I saw
Um,
this beautiful image of the ear as the womb, which kind of stuck with
mm,
me because you know, it's not just even from the outside what you hear. It's also what you tell yourself. It
yes,
kind of grows to whatever
yes.
you make it.
What other people are saying is very important. The people around you as well. I feel, what you're telling yourself,
Yeah,
and speaking it. That's really
yeah,
important. This is where, as you know, I'm very much into intention setting,
mm,
and as a yoga nidra teacher, it's really about being in the kind of getting into that kind of unconscious state of
yeah.
understanding I can set this intention. And if you can keep setting the same intention, it grows, and
Mm.
you grow with it, which
Yeah.
is just amazing. So yeah.
Which interestingly enough, the yoga nidra also needs you to be quiet in it. Like there's
Mm,
a restfulness in that movement, if that makes sense.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. For me, I love intertwining, as you know, the astrology with my yoga nidra practices, and probably this is one of the most special times with being Pisces and ruler of our sleep.
yeah,
And Pisces is a sign that actually needs the most sleep out of all the signs. They need like loads, like 12 hours if possible. They'll sleep anywhere, they'll sleep everywhere. So if they can. And I have a lot of Pisces who have maybe issues with sleeping coming doing my yoga nidra practices. But
okay,
I will actually be doing one this tomorrow evening. I will be doing one. Yes. And it is
yes,
a free one if anybody would like to come along, because I like to support people at this eclipse period, because it can be a time where emotions are really heightened, and, you know, life happens, things happen, and we need a space that you can go to and actually be quiet and rest and just recuperate our energy. And that's the kind of space I want to create, or am creating, which I'm pleased about.
which yeah, which you do very well. I managed to fall asleep on the last one, so
That's great.
it was very good. And it's interesting that the eclipse, the many years ago, or in myth, eclipses were scary because it wasn't
Mm,
understood as to what was happening, and there was a
yes,
kind of a angry gods, abandonment kind of, so I think that turning within to be able to know that we are safe in ourselves as well,
very
um,
important.
is
Yes.
very important. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially this time, people might be feeling extra tired around this particular eclipse because it is in Pisces,
yeah.
and it is quite heavy energy. And with it being a supermoon, that's just enhancing that energy even more. So,
Mm.
yeah. But
No,
yeah, I think for me, blending it with yoga nidra and, movement is something. It's great to be able to put things into practice, and to actually, because there is a way to work with astrology by understanding the body areas
mm,
and by understanding the chakras as well. Like Pisces is linked to the crown chakra.
mm,
And if it all makes sense, it's all our spiritual higher learning linked to Neptune as well, which is a spirit, planet of spirituality and
yeah.
depth and so on. So everything I feel is really linked. But
It
yes.
is so
Mm,
beautifully, and interestingly enough, Jupiter and Neptune, both kind of associated with Pisces, are the brothers to Pluto, and the
Mm,
father is Saturn. So Pluto
yes,
is also doing his thing at the moment, which I
yes,
think is also kind of finishing off some serious business.
yes.
And
That's going to be really interesting because we're in the last degree of Pluto right now, and the 29th degree of the 30 degrees of it being inside Capricorn before it moves into Aquarius. And it's been there since 2008. And I remember saying to you the other day that it was actually a time that's when we had a world recession. And it's, if you look back to, 2008 to now, and what's transformed, like Saturn has been asking us to be putting in all this hard work and all these kind of structures in place. And when it moves into Aquarius, which it did at the beginning of this year, it gave us a
yeah,
glimpse of, what it can feel like, this energy going into Aquarius. And it's gone back into the last shadow, and then it will go now into Aquarius on the 17th of November. So I am recommending all my clients to get in the structures that they need between now and the 17th, and then fly with it, So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, fly to
I
the,
mean, this is an exciting. This is
yeah,
Aquarius, is air, and
yeah.
togetherness as well, and all these things that Capricorn maybe didn't get us to do so well. So it's I'm
Mm.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
me
but
too.
yeah, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It
Yeah.
is a good thing. Change is always good, and it happens
Definitely.
every day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the moon does it twice, every 2 days. So yeah, we
Yes,
kind of stick to it.
totally.
Uh,
And
to
never
get
in
all
the
the
same.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Um,
indeed.
to find
Thank
all
you.
the beautiful things you're doing, universalmovement.com. Alexi's really doing some interesting things. I love the
Thank you.
holistic entrepreneur circle, the yoga nidra sessions, and I think there's a lot more to come with
Yes.
courses and different practitioners and retreats, and the Witchy Festival in Leicester, which I see is coming up
Yes.
as well. So amazing. Thank you so much for spending
Thank
some time with
you. My pleasure. We're always a pleasure with you.
me.
All right, guys. I will see to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Exactly.
Have a
We'll do
wonderful
this
day.
again next month.
Yes. Yes, go wait.
Brilliant.